Onto the circuit then comes the junior competitors for that second heat of the day. Grid determined by qualifying yesterday, which will see Chris Lulham this time out there from pole position in kart number 1. Alongside him will be the man second in the championship, Enzo Joulet. Row 2 lines up with Georgi Dimitrov and Shihab Al-Habsi alongside. Row 3 will then have the Dutchman, which is Tijmen van der Helm, race 1 winner. He's got, again, work to do from 5th place, but if he's going to do it, he's going to do it from there. 6th place will be then Delano Van Toff. Then back on row number 4, we have Leonardo Fornaroli with Evan Spendler, one of those championship contenders, back on row number 4. Row 5 lines up with Angus Mulsdow, the championship leader, and Kai Aski, who made up many places in that first heat to get a solid result. Row 6 then has the likes of Matthias Castro Zagazeta with Matteo Ingolfo, who's the only non-finisher from the first race. Row 7 will see Jason Ferrate and Ali Akabi alongside. Row number 8, Josh Dufek and Senyu Han. Row 9 lines up with Daniel Traga and Kaisen Gibson. Row 10 then sees Senna Eckers with DJ Leveres. And row 11 will be Sarah Tabachi with Lewis Delbart. And hopefully Tom Edgar has made it to the grid this time round as well. 23rd is where he'll be starting. So this time round, drier conditions. The earlier race was in damp conditions out there, so a few people not too sure with what tyres to go with, which gave us a little bit of an iffy start and a few people moving up from lower down on the grid after their tyre selection. But this time around I think everyone will have gone for slick tyres, which means everyone should stay pretty much where they are on the grid once it all gets underway, but then a few changes may be awry middle of the pack. But I don't think it's going to be too many jumpers through the field. They'll all kind of get themselves into good formation through the first couple of corners, and then we'll see where the race takes us. Once again, over the distance of 8 laps for the juniors, so not long at all to sort themselves out and get those solid results. But let's see what Chris Lulham can do. Here's the man who needs the best of the performances this time round. He starts there from pole position in kart number 1. We are ready to go then for the juniors. Second heat of the day gets underway now as they venture down towards the first corner. And a very quick start there from the outside from Enzo Joulet, but it's the inside run that gets the job done again. Chris Lulham leads from Georgi Dimitrov, and also coming through as well, I think Enzo's got himself up into 3rd place. 4th place for Tijmen van der Helm. 5th place then for 43, which is Shihab Al-Habsi. He's lost 1 place from the starting grid already, but they remain there or thereabouts. No dramas in the first few corners. They've all safely made it through turns 1, 2 and 3, and already down the back straight they go, and here comes Tijmen van der Helm for a move, already up into 3rd place. So through the inside he goes now to take a place away from the 19 machine of Enzo Joulet, the Frenchman, who now sits there in 4th place under attack from Al-Habsi, who is also on the move as well. He needs to get himself into a little bit of a stride here as the top 2 start to pull a distance out front. Chris Lulham ahead of Georgi Dimitrov, come through to complete lap number 1 already at a very unabated speed as they run down towards the first corner. Tijmen van der Helm sits 3rd, Enzo Joulet in 4th, 5th place then for Shihab Al-Habsi, and then right behind them we have 6th place for Delano Van Toff, who hasn't moved from his starting position. Then back in 7th place is Evan Spendler. 2 places gained for Kayaski again up into 8th place. Angus Mulsdow has stayed where he was as well on the grid, 9th position, and 10th place for Matthias Castro Zagazeta at the end of the first lap. As the leaders run off the back straight and down towards a hairpin, Enzo Joulet trying to defend as much as he can from Al-Habsi, who's very, very attacking now, and here comes a move from number 17. Delano Van Toff goes through, so he now makes up a place ahead of Enzo, we're being told. So has there been a further change there with also going through Al-Habsi? Yes, there has. So Al-Habsi's gone through, and also now Van Toff. So both of those have moved ahead of Enzo Joulet, who comes through this time in what's going to be 6th position. But again, the top 2 just breaking away now, ever closer between Chris Lulham and Giorgio Dimitrov. Through the first couple of turns they go. 0.2 of a second is what the gap is, but look who's closing them down now. Tijmen van der Helm in 3rd place is escaping from the clutches of Shihab Al-Habsi. So there's going to be a 3-way fight, surely, maybe a 4-way fight, before too much longer as they now work their way on this 3rd lap. Leaders down towards the hairpin they go. In fact, there's a long line from 1st to 9th. The last of those being Kayaski in kart number 15. Just ahead of him, now making up a position, is Angus Mulsdow, the championship leader. So he is making a few places, but he needs to make a lot more than this if he wants a good place on the grid for the pre-final. But for now, Chris Lulham trying to make up time from disappointing heat number 1 where he didn't start. This time round though, he leads across the line ahead of Giorgio Dimitrov once again. So those 2 hammer and tong at it out front for now. 3rd place still for Tijmen van der Helm. 4th place for Shihab Al-Habsi. as the quickest lap of the race has now gone to that man, Al Habsi, at 51.175. He is on a march at the minute, trying to push Tijmen van der Helm along the way. And let's see if they can catch up with the top two before we reach half race distance. And towards the hairpin they go once more. Still this long line from first down to 9th place. Then there's a slight gap back to 10th place, which is Matthias Castro Zagazeta, with about a second adrift of Kayaski there in 9th place. So we've got a leading train of 9 carts. Could go any way over the next 4 and a bit laps. And the leaders head back towards us once again through the final couple of corners. Over the curbs they go, which now should be completely dry, so no risk there of losing any time from running over the curbs. Down through turn 1 though goes Chris Lulham. Still leads by a margin of a 0.2 of a second. But he can't bat an eyelid just yet. He needs to keep on the pace and keep himself building the speed out front, because one slight mistake can let all of those 4 or 5 carts behind straight through. So he needs to be on his game here, does Chris Lulham. Quick slap changes hands that time to our 5th place man, Delano Van Toff, who does a time which is a 50.917. First man to drop below the 51 barrier again. Tijmen van der Helm still there in 3rd place, Heat 1 winner, under attack from Shihab Al Habsi. And then again the championship 2nd place man, Enzo Joulet, still ahead of his championship rivals, which is the good thing, because Angus Milesdale down there in 8th place, Enzo's up there in 6th. Chris Lulham is of course the one to watch out for, but Heat 1 disappointment means he's got a lot to do in Heats 2 and 3 just to get a mid-place grid for the pre-final. Down through turns 5 and 6 they now head the race leaders. Delano Van Toff goes even quicker that time round at 50.787 as they work their way through lap 6. Everyone watching from the grandstands, which is good to see. Great vantage points here at the Italian circuit. Many places to catch all of the racetrack, and many people taking that opportunity high above the skies as Tijmen van der Helm now makes a move for 2nd place, and through he goes. So Giorgio Dimitrov has no retaliation. He just has to let Tijmen van der Helm go. Maybe a good thing though, because if Giorgio can remain on the tail of Tijmen, then they can both attack Chris Lulham for the race lead. So let's see if they can work together. They're being joined now by Shihab Al Habsi, and also in there as well is Delano Van Toff, who is one of the quickest men on circuit at the minute. Through they go, top 2 separated by half a second, 2nd and 3rd separated by a 1/10 of a second as Giorgio Dimitrov goes back through into 2nd. So Tijmen van der Helm did not hold that for long at all, so there's been a switch for 2nd again. 4th place still that for Shihab Al Habsi, 5th place for Delano Van Toff. Quickest person that time round was Tijmen van der Helm by the looks of it, 50.9. No, in fact, Delano's still the quickest, 50.787 with the quickest time recorded so far. Tijmen van der Helm there 2nd once more, so it's changed at intermediate 2. Tijmen back into 2nd, Dimitrov down to 3rd, and right there with him still Al Habsi and Van Toff. But all of this is allowing now the race leader Chris Lulham to pull away, with the last lap about to be started for the reigning champion, who comes through in cart number 1. And here comes a move from Dimitrov. Down the inside line he goes, so up another place for that man. Giorgio Dimitrov goes through. Can they catch Chris Lulham? I very much doubt it, because Tijmen van der Helm wants the place back once more. There's no let up between these 2nd and 3rd place guys. I think they've just got enough in hand over the 3 behind, who are squabbling as well, because we've got Evan Spendler up there now into 6th place, looking to take a couple of positions on this last lap. Tijmen van der Helm back through. Look at that 3-way fight for 4th place as they work their way through the hairpin at turn number 8. Anything can happen there, so we'll see how that unfolds as they head through. Evan Spendler has made no positions. It's Angus Milesdale and Kayaski who are coming through to 5th and 6th places. They're going to try and hold that to the run to the line, which Chris Lulham is about to do through the last 2 corners, through the left, through the right at turn 13, and Chris Lulham is his first win of the day in the juniors. Through he comes and wins by what's going to be 2.5 seconds ahead of Tijmen van der Helm. So Tijmen sets himself up for a great 3rd heat of the day. That's going to put him in good stead to grab pole position for the pre-final a little bit later on. But there was many action on that last lap. Loads of places changed as they came through turns 8, 9 and 10. We'll try and unfold and work out who came through and who made up the positions. But a win for Chris Lulham, and on that last lap he also records the quickest lap of anyone, a 50.703. Very short race, just under 7 minutes for our winner Chris Lulham. He takes the victory by 2.5 seconds from Tijmen van der Helm there in 2nd place for the privateer team again. 3rd place for Giorgio Dimitrov, Fusion Motorsport. M Sports Shihab Al Habsi comes through in 4th. And then again, look at that brace of Fusion Motorsport machines in 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Angus Milesdale led them through. Kayaski came through into 6th. Evan Spendler dropped down to 7th, and it was Matthias Castro Zagazetto who dropped down to 8th place on that last lap. Enzo Juliet also lost down to 9th he goes. Josh Dufek came through in 10th, and then behind them in 11th place we had Matteo Ingolfo, Ali Akabi in 12th, Leonardo Fornarolo in 13th, and it was Kaysen Gibson and Tom Edgar to round out your top 15. There was a couple of non-finishers. In fact, one non-starter was Jason